Hi guys, welcome back and hello if you are new. So I would say probably one of the most hyped releases in the black metal circles of this year is definitely Blackbraid. They kind of exploded onto the scene with Blackbraid I, and the new album is called Blackbraid II. But most importantly, does this album live up to the hype? Because there's a lot of people who are, proclaiming this to be an album of the year. Really strong black metal album. So I'll be intrigued to see what you guys think of it, along with, my thoughts as well. So without further ado, let's delve into Blackbraid II. So if you're not familiar with the band, they bring the sounds of the cold winds of Norway to the Adirondack Mountains of New York. So Blackbraid is a one-man black metal project who goes by the name of John Krieger, or Skagoa, which is Mohawk for the Witch Hawk. Musically, the band combine elements of Agalloch, that sort of like folk black metal sort of style, as well as I heard a little bit of Wolves in the Throne Room in there. But there's a lot of native instruments as well that are from the Adirondack, mountains, I guess. As you know, that's sort of like acoustic. There's also some flute sort of pan pipes that they play. One of the most immediate things though for me on this album was how clear the drums sound, and they really emphasize that kind of level of energy and make sure that it's kept up throughout the album. There's a hell of a lot of talent behind Neil Schreider, who has basically performed all of the drums on the album. And really, keeps the sort of pace nice and interesting. And it's really fast, some of this. It's really fast. There's very much those ideas of spirituality, returning to nature. You can hear the crackle of the fire, for example, on Autumnal Hearts Ablaze, as we move into The Spirit Returns. It's kind of like a nice intro before we go into the first proper song. But it does, create a really nice kind of layer and, sort of like a bedrock for this main riff to come in. But then, that folk element that I mentioned kind of comes back on Spells of Moon and Earth and Celestial Passage. Again, two more interludes that really do kind of ground you into that world. And I think what I liked the most about this Blackbraid album is it really does kind of transport you into where you would imagine kind of being in the woods and, being completely at one with nature. And you could argue that these interludes are a little bit superfluous, but I don't think they are, because they add that sense of warmth, nature, and stillness that is actually quite contradictory to the normal, cold, unforgiving, and fast nature of black metal. There are many great moments on this album. The wolf that guides the hunter's hand is definitely one of the sort of showstopper moments, and was the first song that really knocked me for six upon hearing it. But it's nothing compared to A Song of Death on the Winds of Dawn. That absolutely is without a doubt the set piece of the album. It's really interesting. It kind of goes through all these different emotions, throughout its pretty long runtime, and it kept me intrigued throughout the entire time I was listening to it. But what I really loved about this album is Twilight Hymn of Ancient Blood. That's a song which totally took me by surprise. It has this sort of like thrashy riff that comes in midway through. It also starts very differently to how the previous songs have started, and really, if I'm honest, redeems this album massively for me. This track in particular is what I was really hoping would happen in the record, because up until then it's been good, but it's been very samey. And I like the fact that this was something completely different that I hadn't predicted. My biggest criticism, I think, of this record is that there are moments when it lingers on one section for just a little bit too long. The Wolf That Guides the Hunter's Hand, for example, as much as it is a great song, there's one section which I think could have almost been taken out completely because it's just a repetition of what we heard previous. And I think, you know, if that sort of cut had been done, it might have kept a sort of bit more of the momentum going, really. There's certainly potential here. I 100% agree with that. And after seeing Travis Ryan literally raving about this band on the Decibel tour, I'd really like to see them live because I feel like that might really convince me. The record is saved from monotony in the fact that there are interesting angles that kind of come in, and I like the fact that we've got these sort of interludes which build that sense of atmosphere. I'm very much excited to see what Blackbraid has got in store for us next, and I really do think this is just the beginning of a very, very bright chapter for this band. So in that regard, I'm going to give this album a 7.5 out of 10. So I hope you guys enjoyed this album review. Let me know what you think in the comments underneath me. And now that the album is out, let me know what you think of it as well. If you could hit that like and subscribe button, that always absolutely helps. And I really appreciate all the support you guys give to me week in, week out. It really, really does mean the world. I hope you're all having a great week, and I'll see you guys very, very soon for another album review. Take care, my friends.